Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I am so excited for today's video because it's a really exciting palette, I think, but also it's been a while, I feel like, since I did a first impression on an eyeshadow palette. I think the last one that I did was the Venus XL2 from Lime Crime, which I can link above if you didn't see that, but I don't know, it feels like it's been a while. And obviously, you know, when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, it's one of those things I can't do all the time because I can't buy new palettes all the time. Hopefully I'll get a couple more new ones though in the VIB sale coming up for Sephora so that I can film some more of these for you, because I just love eyeshadow palettes. They are definitely a weakness for me, and I just think that they're really fun to film first impressions on. So the one that I have to play with today, I just got yesterday and I'm so excited to film with it. So excited. Okay, so this is the Sweet Talk palette from ColourPop. And what's cool about this palette, first of all, the packaging is beautiful. This is from their spring collection. And this palette, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first eyeshadow palette that ColourPop has come out with where it has a Super Shock shadow in the palette, which is so exciting because, first of all, I love the idea of these different types of formulas within an eyeshadow palette. I think it makes it look really interesting. It just provides so many options for you, and it just livens up your looks, I think. But what I kind of struggle with the Super Shock shadows is that they are beautiful, especially like the shimmery ones. Oh my gosh, they can be so stunning, but they're only in these singles, and you know, they just get lost in the shuffle, just like with every single eyeshadow that I have. And so the fact that it's in this palette, I think, is awesome. And there are also 2 pressed glitters in here too, which I think is pretty cool. So there are 4 formulas in there. There's the matte formula, there is a shimmer formula, and then there's the Super Shock and the pressed glitters. So I think that's really cool. So let's take a look. Now, I will say, first of all, this palette is $18, and you can see, I don't know if you can really tell on camera. I think sometimes it's hard to tell on camera how tiny these ColourPop palettes are. You know, it's $18, which is still very inexpensive. It's definitely on the higher end for ColourPop. Because of all those different formulas, I think that's why it's a higher price. But it is a great way to try a palette if you don't want to spend a lot and still get a great formula. And it's a way to, you know, just try out different shades instead of getting like lots of singles and just getting a palette. And, you know, if you're somebody who uses like a few different palettes and that's it, then you're gonna go through these pretty quickly because they just don't have a ton of product in there. They're not necessarily the best value for your money if you're thinking of it like price per ounce, but a lot of us are not because we have extensive collections. So if you're like me and you have an extensive collection, it's not necessarily going to be that much of an issue. If it turns out that this is a palette that I use up, then I could repurchase it, but it would be a long time before that would happen because I have a lot in my collection. But this is what it looks like, and I think it is just beautiful. Obviously it's a little hard to show because it's so reflective. What is it with these palettes lately and being so reflective? I feel like the last couple first impressions that I've done, they've all been so reflective. But anyway, just so beautiful. It says up here, ColourPop, you're pretty. Well, thanks, ColourPop. And on the back, it says Sweet Talk Pressed Powder Palette, and it has all of the shades on there for you, which is great. But it also has the names of the shades right underneath. I don't know if you can see that there, which I like because I always get confused like looking at the back and everything. It doesn't necessarily matter, especially if you don't film YouTube videos, but hey. I just think that this is such a beautiful palette. It just is so spring, and it's just giving me all the spring vibes, and I held off for a little bit, and then they were having a deal of free shipping, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and get it because I've just been lusting after this one because of those springy tones in there. I just think that it's so pretty. So just to give you an idea, this right here, this shade Side to Side, that's the Super Shock shadow. So yeah, it feels like that Super Shock shadow. How cool is that? Oh, it's so pretty. It's almost like a light, like topper type of shade, but oh, it's really pretty. It almost has a little bit of like a shift to it. It has like a pinky, peachy, goldy shift to it. Really pretty. And then I'm sure that you can tell these are the 2 pressed glitters. This one is called Prima Drama. That's very cute. And this one is called Early Mornin'. I'm not gonna swatch all these. I do wanna swatch these 2 glitters just because those are new to me. I'm not gonna swatch the whole palette because there are so many videos on this palette already. So if you wanna see swatches, you certainly can. But let's check out these glitters because I'm really very curious about these. I might have to try one of these glitters today. I don't know because they're just so pretty. So, you know, this is definitely something, yeah, they're definitely flaky. So you want to definitely, They're very pretty though, but they're definitely glitters. So you want to use a glitter glue. Even if you didn't use those glitters, it's just so pretty. Some of these like pinky, peachy type of mattes, I just think are gorgeous, and I'm so excited to play with them. So I'm gonna prime my eyes, pull back my hair, and we'll start using this palette. So let's get started. I have no idea what I'm planning on doing today. We're just gonna play, but I definitely wanna use some of these really pretty peachy tones. Now, if you are not new to my channel, then I'll let you know that this is not my first experience playing with ColourPop palettes. I don't actually own any of their singles. I just have like the Super Shock ones, but I have a few of their palettes. I have, let's see, I have the Yes Please. That was my first one that I got, which I don't use a ton just because I don't use those shades a whole lot, but it's still great. And then I have the two from Kathleen Light. So I have the Dream Street, which I love, and then I have the Zodiac one that she came out with recently. So this is not, you know, new to me. Obviously, having the Super Shock formula in here is new, and the pressed glitters, that's new. I haven't played with their pressed glitters yet, but the mattes and the regular shimmers should be, you know, should work well because I'm typically pretty happy with those. So let's see, it seems like these two shades, Meadow and Dreammaker, it seems like these are very, very similar. So let's see, let's swatch them to see the difference. So yeah, they are very similar, but I will say that Dreammaker is more pink and this one has a bit more like of an orangey tone to it. Can you tell that there? So this one is Dreammaker, this one is Meadow. So you can see the difference there. It's a subtle difference, but it is a difference. And I actually kind of like that because, you know, you can kind of go in different directions. So I'm gonna go in a more pinky direction, I think. And not too much kick up actually. And I'm just gonna put this right in my crease. I'm gonna keep it out here though. I'm not gonna like, you know, blow it out too much there. I'm gonna kind of drag it down. But I've been very happy with ColourPop's formula. And, you know, I know that it's not the best value, but it's still an inexpensive brand. And I have to realize that for most people, you know, price per ounce is not, it doesn't matter. You know, they just want to pay less upfront. And I get that. I mean, you know, something like Viseart is expensive upfront, but you get a lot more for your dollar. So it just kind of depends what you want. And I like to have a little bit of both. You know, I love my Viseart shadows, but it is fun to be able to get a really inexpensive, you know, palette, you know, especially when it comes to like colorful shades or just shades that, you know, maybe are just trendy, because then, you know, you don't feel like you're breaking the bank for something that is a trend. You know, like they say that for clothes as well, you know, spend your money on pieces that are going to, you know, last through many seasons and are going to be like staple pieces. You know, don't splurge on things that are trendy. So I think that goes with makeup too. So far, this is really, really pretty. It's subtle and, you know, I'm using a fluffy brush. So, you know, it's blowing it out and obviously blending very, very easily, just like ColourPop shadows usually do. But I'm still getting a nice amount of pigment. I think it's really, really pretty. Just these shades for spring are so great. So now I'm going to deepen it up. I'm gonna take the shade ICYMI, which if you didn't know is In Case You Missed It. This is one of those things that, you know, I actually knew it and I was so proud of myself because some people were doing videos on this and didn't know what that was. And I was like, I guess I am still cool. I usually don't know a lot of those things, but I did know that. This is a very, very pretty shade. I really like this shade. So vibrant and just, oh, they just blend so easily. I really love ColourPop shadows. Their mattes just blend together so nicely. So I'm just bringing that, you know, into the outer corner, but also through the crease, just a little more targeted into the crease. With no additional product, I'm just going back in to kind of blend this out, but my goodness, it just blended so, so easily. And then to even deepen it up more so, I'm going to take the shade Feel Free, which is a really pretty brown shade. It almost looks like it has a little bit of a purpley undertone to it. And I think it's beautiful. I love that shade. It's so pretty. Yeah, it definitely has like a purpley undertone. So I'm gonna keep this one like right on that outer corner. I'm not gonna take it, you know, inward at all. Just keeping it right there. I really like these shades so far. At least the mattes. We'll see how the shimmers perform, but oh, so pretty. So that shade I had to work with a tiny bit more. I don't know if you can see, but it got a little bit patchy there. Nothing crazy, and you know, it's still a beautiful shade, but you know, I definitely had to work with that one a little bit more than I did the other mattes. I still love it, and I love the assortment of mattes in here. I love that you've got some of those, you know, peachy tones, and they've given you two different types of like pinky peachy tones, you know, one that's a little more orange, one that's a little more pink, and then you've got a little bit of a deeper one that, you know, has that peachy tone to it, but it's still like a more reddish brown kind of color. And then you have, you know, just a basic kind of brown and a deeper brown. And then you've got your deepening shade that will work for both kind of mattes that you're dealing with. So you can go in different directions with this. I think that they all work together so nicely. And this is a really pretty like sort of cream shade because it almost has a little bit of a pinky undertone to it. And I think that that's really pretty as well. I know a lot of people don't like those kind of shades in palettes. I like them because I do use them, but I recognize that not everybody can use that and not everybody wants to use that. So just something to think about. But and then, you know, your two, you know, shimmer shades. This one, oh, I'm gonna definitely be using that one. That one looks so pretty, like a really pretty, like peachy, goldy type of shifty shade. It looks really pretty. Do you see that? And then you've got a more golden one that still has a shift to it, if you can see. And then you've got, of course, your glitters and your Super Shock. So I think it's a really well-balanced palette. It's really cohesive, and I just think that there are a lot of options with this one, even though it seems very like one-dimensional. I don't think that it is at all, and I'm just excited about it so far. So, okay, we're gonna go in with some shimmers. I'm just gonna put a little glitter glue on my lid, as always. And I just have to go for the shade Garden Date. I think it's so pretty. Okay, so I probably am going to have to wet my brush because I usually do with ColourPop shimmers. But I'm gonna go in with a wet brush first before I see if I need to use my finger. I probably will use my finger with the Super Shock shadow just because I do think that they're better that way. I mean, you can certainly use a different type of brush if you have long nails and you can't use your fingers, but I really do think that they're best with your fingers if you don't mind using them. Okay. Oh yeah. That is gorgeous. So pretty. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's what I wanted that shade to be, for sure. That's really, really pretty. Okay, and then on the inner part, I'm going to take the Super Shock shadow, which is called Side to Side. And I'm really thrilled that my palette came in one piece because I've definitely seen some people's palettes come broken. And mine was packaged really well, so I'm sure that that helped, but oh, that's really pretty. Even though it's like a little bit more of a sheer shadow, I think that it still is really packing a punch. You know, sometimes the Super Shock shadows are a little more opaque, but I still think that this looks really pretty. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little bit more sheer, but I think that it's still really pretty. I think that, you know, maybe this is the kind of shadow that you would usually use over top as a topper, because I really think that's what it is, but I think you can still get away with using it by itself. It's still really pretty. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of Feel Free, just to kind of blend the edges out here. On this little brush here, this little Duo Fiber brush, I'm gonna just take Dream Maker, that first pinky peach we used, and I'm going to kind of blend this out a little bit. It's kind of hard to like blend out that Super Shock shadow because of just the formula of it, so that's all right. It kind of looks like maybe we meant to be messy with it. We'll go with that. All right, so I'll use a glitter because I would normally leave it like this, but I'm just gonna use a tiny bit of glitter. I'm gonna use that one, Prima Drama, which is such a cute name. I'm gonna use that one because I feel like that goes with this look more. And I'm just gonna put like a little bit like right there, like, you know, right kind of where those two shadows meet. Another touch of glitter glue so that we don't get too much fallout. Okay, so I'm putting that right there. Okay, and I'm gonna take a little bit just on my finger. I kind of feel like this maybe is best on your finger. I don't know. So you can see it's a pretty sheer glitter. Like I definitely feel like it is meant to go on top. Well, that is glitter. It is sparkly, it's pretty. I do think that that is really pretty though. It is definitely extra, but I think it's fun. I think it's really fun. I am going out to dinner tonight, so it's kind of, it's good. I think it's really pretty. All right, so let's see. I think that now I'm going to move on to my face and we'll come back and do obviously the rest of the eyeshadow look together. But I think what I'm gonna do is just do kind of a thin line of brown liner. I don't think I'm gonna do a wing or anything like that. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do my face makeup and all of that. I may even do, no, I'll wait to do my lips, but I'll come back and do the lower lash line with you and everything else with the eyes before I do mascara and lips. And I'll let you know what I think about this palette. All right, so the rest of my face is done. If you want to know anything else that I'm wearing, just check down there. Let's continue on with the eyes. So now for the bottom lash line, let's see. Well, first of all, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight the brow and I'm gonna use this Catch Me shade. I don't know if it's bright enough. It's hard to tell. I might have to like mix it. Today I won't, but just for the sake of this video, but I think that I might need to mix it in the future. We'll just have to see. Let's see what it looks like by itself. Because, well, it might work. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't need it to be super bright. I just like, I don't know, I really like the look of something matte on my brow bone. I just feel like it ties everything together. It helps clean things up. Once I put that down, then I blend it out. But I just really like the look of that. I don't like, I mean, typically I don't like something shimmery. If anything, like more of a satin kind of brow bone highlight, but I don't know, I just like the look of it. You can take it or leave it, but I will use that shade. So that's, I think that that's nice. There really isn't anything for the inner corner, I will say that, because the side to side is not really for that. So what am I gonna use for the inner corner? That's a good question. Well, I'll just take my, and then we'll go on to the lower lash line. I'm gonna just take my Lorac Pro palette because that's in my project pan, so I try to use this whenever I can. This has kind of been my go-to for my brow bone as well because I'm just trying to hit pan on some of these shades. So I'm just gonna take the nude shade and put that on my inner corners. What do I want to do in the lower lash line? I think I'm going to take Feel Free on a flat definer brush, and I'm just gonna take that right up here. Just about halfway in. Really revolutionary, which by the way, I totally forgot to put that brown liner on my upper lash line. I will do that in a second. Totally forgot to do that. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix Dream Maker and ICYMI. It's hard to say. I'm gonna take those two and mix them because those are the shades that I used up top, so I think that will be nice to kind of blend out. So nicely pigmented. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it at that. And on my waterline, I think I'm just gonna take a nude because honestly, I don't really have anything that goes with this, I don't think. So I think I'm just gonna go for a nude. I'm gonna use this Benefit Highbrow, which is just like a matte kind of pinky cream shade. So I'm gonna put this on and then I'm gonna add that liner like I had said that I was going to. I'm going to add mascara, I'm gonna add some lips, and I'll come back and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so the makeup look is done. I think it's really pretty and I feel so spring. I mean, honestly, that's just That's what I just keep thinking about, how spring this palette feels to me, and I love that about it. I thought about getting some of the lipsticks, you know, some of the other products in the collection, but I just felt like this was the one that really spoke to me. I mean, I don't know, I have a weak spot, what can I tell you? But I think first impression wise, they all performed the way that I would expect from ColourPop. They are fantastic. They really are super pretty shades, and I feel like the palette itself, it just works so well. All the shades work so well together, and I'm excited to play more with it. You know, I think when I'm first playing with a palette, if I'm excited to do my next look and I'm just excited to keep playing with it, that tells me that it's one that I am really going to enjoy long term. And I love the finishes in here. I almost wish that there were more Super Shock shadows in here. So I'm excited to see what they come out with next when it comes to having those in palettes, because I think that this is so pretty, but I would love more. I like the glitters, but you know, it's not going to be an everyday thing for me. So I think it's a nice touch, but I almost wish that those were Super Shock shadows instead. Obviously, I'm gonna have to keep trying this because I haven't tried every single shade, but you know, at least for the mattes and the shimmers, they are what I would expect from ColourPop, and I enjoy that formula. So I'm pretty happy so far. I don't really feel like I'm missing anything in this palette. I feel like it's a complete palette. I don't feel like there's something in here that I wish was in here. Like I said, I almost wish there were more Super Shock shadows, but other than that, I really don't feel like I'm missing anything. Certainly not as far as shades go. So I'm really, really thrilled. Let me know in the comments below if you have tried this palette yet, if you are planning on getting it, or if you decided to skip out on it. I think that it's beautiful. You know, $18 is definitely on the pricier side for ColourPop, especially for this small of a palette. You know, like I said, it's kind of hard to understand how small this is until you get it in person, but I think that that's okay, because this is a trendy palette. This is for spring. And so I kind of like that anyway. That doesn't bother me at all. And I still feel like that's a really good deal for this palette. And, you know, either you can get it when it's on sale or when they have some type of coupon code or something like that, or you can wait until they have free shipping or until you feel like you have enough stuff that you want to get. So let me know if there's anything else that you want to see with this palette. If you'd like me to do another look from this palette, maybe focusing on some of the more like brownie shades in here, you know, definitely let me know. I'm happy to do another video on this if you'd like it. But otherwise, just stay tuned for a review coming up on this one, because of course I'm going to do a full review on it. This is just a first impression. I hope that you enjoyed playing with me. I always love playing with new eyeshadow palettes. It's so much fun. If you like this video, please make sure and give it a big thumbs up. That really does help out my channel so much. I post videos every single Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. If you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.